That seemed a rich like me. I was lost, but then was blind, but now I see.
Greetings to everybody. My name is Leslie Andreas. I'm going to go in the chat. I am going to be taking my birth name back. It's a long story, probably for another time. As William is name is Junior. I am an aspiring screenwriter and certified casting director thanks to Casting 360. I also hold a membership with Explore Talent. So, this is what everybody's been waiting for. How did I become Catholic? Well, I would like to thank Amelia Clarke for being that great inspiration yet again. And I asked publicly, not publicly, but publicly, I said, is it possible that somebody could be a witness without saying a word? And he kind of thought about that for a moment. And he goes, well, yeah, I guess that is possible. Well, for her to be a witness, I had to kind of get to know her. Having her write me back letters, I can't explain why one came back. Maybe a mail mishap. No communication on what's going on with her. That's another tale for another time. She went to Catholic Prorochial School, and then I guess there's like boarding school for girls, and then after that she went into the Roman Cinema College to get her master's degree to become an actress. And then her profile, as I studied it on Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia, also showed that she has a Christian personality about her. I mean, they not show too much, but she did say she didn't talk about it too much, but that's okay. So it's like, okay, looking back in my life, maybe it's because I keep making the wrong choices. Well, so I decided to go for the gusto. I started going to St. Joseph. And so this is kind of where my rebirth, what I call it, begins. Yakima is, well, they say it used to be a lake bed. Definitely hot during the summer. I mean, it's work up triple digits when it gets in July or August. So make sure you bring your shorts because it's going to be hot. Even in July or August, you can see snow-capped mountains. It's mainly a place where people grow vineyards for making wine. That'd probably be right up Peter Dinklage alley. As Tyrion Lannister. Yep, definitely got to have the wine. But they also do fruit trees and hops for making beer, or maybe they call it ale and lemons. Yeah, that's pretty much what Yakima is. It's a growing, producing type community. So I went to this place, very large, at least in my opinion, in St. Louis Catholic Church. And I just decided, okay, each Sunday I'll just come in. So I'm just sitting and kind of listening. And one of the first funny things is that Father Felipe, he goes, okay, and everybody should turn their cell phones off, right? And of course, I didn't think about that because I'm just now starting to go here. So I turn my cell phone off and it goes beep, 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 beep. And he kind of looks at me and I felt so embarrassed. He goes, well, see, there's somebody here, a new visitor, has got it right. I was so embarrassed about that. Well, I guess I should have done that outside the sanctuary, but okay, it was kind of funny. So when they started talking about classes, turning into writing for student initiation adult, I thought, well, okay, so I'm writing movie scripts, I'm not starting to rewrite movies. and the certified casting, I want to get my last screen tonight. Couldn't hurt just check this out. There's no commitment or anything, so I decided to go and then sign up. And my instructor's Susan, her husband Tom, were teaching the class, and started at the end of September. And so as you can see, there's like kind of like a breakdown of 4 different categories you go through as you go through the class. You become a catechumen after a certain period of time. So this here we're going to cover for the first part, which is called inquiry. The inquiry basically is like anyone who is interested in knowing more about what is the Catholic Church. There's been many concepts of Protestants things. Oh yeah, we create a statue, just statue feet and stuff like that. You know, of course I came from the Protestant family, been to different churches, some families, Assembly of God. Mormon church doesn't count, although that was kind of a big mistake on my part because a lot of people say they're a cult. Another tale for another time. Fortunately, I got out and I did. And so, you know, you hear different things, but it's until you actually do inside research that you learn from experience. It's nothing like what you hear. So, as you can see here, they, looking at the notes, they were the big one in the notes. And they started with, what is your favorite? You know, what do you believe? It's like kind of get to know you. And so that's when I get a higher situation that, okay, so what I heard and what I'm about to know is 2 different things. Okay. So the first thing I learned then was that about the Trinity. And it says that Catholics often begin prayers with the sign of the cross and the word in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And by doing so, we express our faith in 3 divine persons, collectively called the Holy or Blessed Trinity. And this simple yet meaningful prayer connects us to a mystery at the heart of Christian life and belief. In fact, the most Holy Trinity is the central mystery of Christian faith and life. Yeah, CCC page 234. As the lessons continue, we all know that this symbol is the symbol of Jesus. Now, I'm thinking this is Greek, possibly. But we all heard the story about how this woman was a prostitute, and you had the Pharisees, you know, thinking, oh, we're holier and mightier than thou type attitude. And so they were going to test Jesus, and they threw her down to the ground and started quoting laws of Moses to him. But Jesus didn't say anything. He kind of knelt down and started drawing from the dirt. Well, probably what he was drawing was his symbol. So he simply said, he who is without sin, cast first stone. Well, they all knew they can't say, I'm perfect, I didn't sin. They all threw their stones down and left. And then he looks at her and he's like, there's nobody here to throw a stone at you. I mean, those exact words. She's like, no. And he goes, well, you're forgiven. Go home, be at peace, and sin no more. Again, I'm just paraphrasing. Well, it kind of shows you then that it doesn't matter if you're not an actress, famous wrestler, or whatever. You know, you can claim you're a Christian, but if you treat people badly, even through Facebook chats or how you treat other people, can you actually say, oh, but I am a Christian, but it's okay for me to treat somebody bad? No. Because that's the same like casting a stone. You know, and you're going to be asked on Judgment Day, why you're without sin cast the first stone. Are you going to honestly throw a stone knowing that you're sinful? Probably not. Because then he's going to say, you hypocrite, depart from me. I know you're not. So you go straight to hell, don't pass go, don't collect $200, go straight to hell. Could you just lie? So that's how that happens. Well, what do you see in the image as shown here? Early Christians used the fish symbol as a secret code indicating they were followers of Jesus. Sometimes a fish eye has a tiny cross. You also see the Greek acronym ICHTHYOS. Each letter, iota, chi, theta, epsilon, sigma, begins the words of the title, Jesus Christ, Son of God, Savior. When early Christians saw the fish for ichthys, they knew immediately they had met another Christian and were saved from persecution. They belonged to each other and the Lord. So the next thing is the Bible. This is like some people, I have to agree. Okay, so it's written by some people think, oh, the Bible's lies. Well, also there are some things where Martin Luther tried to remove the Book of James. That's been proven. He tried to change certain words in the Book of Romans, and the Catholics would stop him. He spoke blasphemies, and yet all the Protestants seemed to hold him in some high regard. So my question is, to Protestants, why would you not look at the other books of the Bible? You know, a lot of people don't take the Book of Revelation seriously as I do. But I said, someone adds to or takes away from the Book of the Bible. Guess why? All the curses of the Bible will be added on you. Now, lo and behold, long before I even knew I was there coming to St. Joseph's, I actually paid $45 US dollars for the Bible. And it is one that, yes, it's old King James. But it included the books that were removed long ago. I guess that was kind of impressive because it was technically a Catholic Bible. So it gives you a little more about what's really going on between the Old and New Testament. I think that's where they call it in the Bible. So, when I got to that part, the next part I learned about was that in this book, in God's Own Ground, Richard Worms was imprisonment in Romania for his religious views. One day, the guards brought in a new prisoner named Avram was badly injured and in a covered body cast. After the guards left, his hand appeared beneath the cast and emerged with a small, tattered book. Avram lay there quietly, turning the pages until he became conscious of the eager eyes fixed on him. "Your book," I said. "What is it? Where did you get it?" Avram closed the book. "It's the Gospel according to John," he said. He had managed to seal it under his cast at the time of his arrest. Avram held out the book. One glance. It says, "I took the little book in my hands as if it were a live bird. No life-saving drug could have been more precious to me." So then the next part that I had learned during my homework was called the Dave Verbum, the Word of God, or as other people might understand, it's called the Divine Revelation. Think back to when you studied a special friendship. As her friendship developed, you revealed more of yourself, thoughts and feelings, likes and dislikes, hopes and dreams. Over time, your friend came to have a pretty good sense of who you are. Yet as close as you may be, no other person can claim to understand you completely. We continue to discover and reveal how aspects of ourselves as we move through life. We can apply some of these same relationship principles to how God reveals himself to us. Remember, that God is a loving communion of persons, three divine persons in one bond. God is loving relationship and provides a model for how we, who are created in his image, are to live in relationship with God and the community of his church. So now we can come back to the part where I had just briefly skipped over it. What is faith? Faith is the realization of what is hoped for, an evidence of things not seen. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Faith often refers to religious belief, but we can have faith in many things. Faith begins as trust, an essential element in any healthy relationship. As young children, we believe our parents, caregivers, and teachers would provide for our needs and safety. We later extend our faith and trust to friends, classmates, romantic interests, and God, and also other actors and actresses we interact with. In Athens, the most important faith is in God, as revealed through Jesus Christ. We grow in relationship with Jesus, nurture our faith and trust in Him, and come to believe in His message, our lives of greater purpose and richness. Faith is our free response to God, loving invitation. By faith, we are able to give our minds and hearts to God, to trust in His will, and to follow the direction He gives us. By the United States Catholic Protection for those age 37. So now, when you kind of look at your daily life, I would ask any actor or actress, for example, when you get up in the morning, you just, gotta hurry, get rushed to the Hollywood Sound, down some espresso from Starbucks or something, or do you actually take time to look back and see what you've accomplished, get thanks for what you have? Have you treated someone nicely and responded to the letter you got? You actually prayed. I mean, it's not like something you have to be ashamed of. If we're all Christians, prayer should be the first thing you do in the morning. So what is your prayer life? We come to know and believe that God made us, loves us, and longs to be in the relationship with us. We can't have a relationship with someone we never talked to. Now, ain't that the fact? Our faith has to become personal. Prayer helps make it personal. So what is prayer? Prayer has a pretty broad definition. It's really anything we do that brings us into conversation with God. It can be a conversation, a common prayer like the Our Father, or any experience that makes you feel closer to God. We can praise God when we want to praise Him. We can petition God when we need something, or we can give thanks to God for something good. I have called you by name, you are mine. Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1. So as you see here, the Lord's prayer is quite distinct. Glory to the Father, and glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it is, was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Now we all know what creed is. Creed is like you're going to make a promise to someone, even when you get married, they call it, okay, these are my wedding vows. Technically, it's still the same as a creed. You know, what is it that you're going to promise to do? Well, the creed, I almost lost my spot here, sorry. You and I will admit, yes, I'm not. The creed is like something that you believe in, and it falls under Catholic prayers and practices. Whatever you believe, that is your creed. Some people believe that in angels, that I chose this. Others believe that fallen angels, known as Nephilim, exist. That is your creed. That is your belief. Well, as the class is going along, I finally got, oh yes, my first one. It was kind of cool. People kept giving me strange looks like, okay, what's he doing? I kept sniffing and I smelled like roses. Roses, doing earth now. So, yeah, I'm sure even that would give, oh yeah, something to smell about, like maybe I got issues, I need medication. No, I'm perfectly okay. This being me. So anyway, it all comes under about learning about the mysteries. I believe that's like 5 mysteries that you um, do like a recital of a practice during certain days, or even that early morning mass before the mass actually takes place. Catholic mass is something else that comes up, and I never understood it because it's a lot different than what Protestants do. Well, sometimes we can't find the words to pray, and we may feel overwhelmed or unable to concentrate in those moments. And having prayers committed to memory is helpful. Repeating a prayer can focus our attention on God and quiet our minds. As I said, the creed, there's actually 2 of them. There's the Nicene Creed and the Apostles' Creed. And the Rosary is a meditation on the events called mysteries in the life of Jesus Christ and Mary. And there are 4 sets, each including 5 mysteries: the joyful mysteries, the sorrowful mysteries, the glorious mysteries, and the luminous mysteries. And it usually takes place before the actual mass starts. As we go on, then, I finally got my question answered about why is it that mass is so different than what we call as Protestants community. And so this is kind of what I learned. The mass is so important to Catholics that when we participate in a Sunday or Saturday evening, many Catholics also attend Mass on weekends. Mass has been important enough over the centuries that people have died defending and exercising their religious freedom to participate in the Mass. In some places, still today, Catholic priests offer the Mass in secret. Now, there is like a calendar, which is kind of odd. It's not like the calendar you buy at a store and hang up on your wall and keep track of time. This is a special calendar that tells the church as to what certain times things are presented or celebrations will. And it's called the liturgical church year. Christians long to retrace the steps of Jesus and walk with him through his life on earth. The gospel writers did it. Anyone who has made a pilgrimage to the Holy Land has done it. As you hear the stories and follow the path year after year, we discover new truths and understand more deeply. So what you have here is normal time, which is the biggest one. And then we go into the Advent. Then there's Christmas. Then you have a short time where, well, it's probably not ordinary time, but it actually has a different kind of like short period in there for a special presentation. And then we have the event. And then we have the small, short one in the red. And unfortunately, I can't read the screen too well, but I'm sure you'll see it better than me while I'm in this production. And then, of course, in the gold. And that's usually falls for Easter. So that is what the calendar looks like. And it's round and it goes every year for the circular liturgical calendar. So here's a better clarification. I found one of my notes here. The biggest part from June to somewhere about, I'd say probably closer to like November, not quite like December, is called ordinary time. Then you have the Advent Christmas. Most people think it only lasts like Christmas Eve and Christmas. Actually, my Catholic tradition is a lot longer than that. So you have December, then it goes into January, and then you have a short ordinary time, which is about roughly February, and then you go into what's called Lent. Now, Lent is a penitential season that lasts 40 days, beginning on Ash Wednesday, and ending at the start of the Easter Triduum. Once get that done, and you get into the Triduum, then you learn that the Triduum lasts for 3 days, begins with the Mass of the Lord's Supper on Holy Thursday evening, and continues through Good Friday and Holy Saturday until the evening of Easter Sunday. Then we go for the Easter time, before the liturgical calendar starts all over again. Easter, during the Easter season, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ and his victory over sin and death. It's also at that time when, on Easter Eve, roughly about evening time, those who have opened their hearts and their eyes to truth, want new enlightenment, and see a lot differently than what they saw with their eyes closed, their eyes are open. They get baptized and confirmed on Easter Eve. I did, and I will explain that in a little bit. The next thing to learn was the Grand Tour, which I thought was kind of cool. Because I've only gone into the chapel and I've really seen the important places, but they each have their own meaning. So these are the important places of the Catholic Church. When you hear the word parish, maybe somebody thinks other than another definition. Parish doesn't mean, oh yeah, it's where you're done. It's kind of a Catholic term like the church you go to. Well, again, this is Yakima, Washington, USA. And this would be considered like the parish I went to, St. Joseph's. That place is the local parish. And the term parish can refer to the community and to the buildings used by the community, just as the term church can refer to the faith community and to the building where Catholics gather to pray. Most parishes have territorial boundaries and serve the people of the local area. Some parishes aren't territorial, but serve specific groups and with particular nationalities, languages, or rites. A parish may be named to honor a person of the Trinity, a saint, or a significant event in the life of Jesus and Mary. This is Father Philippe. He would be, as maybe the Protestants would call it, pastor, but he is like the father for this particular parish. And then, of course, you have the other priest, Father Peter. He's kind of like this real cool dude. Hopefully, that's why he's saying that. But he's got a great personality, also, just like his father, Felipe was. So they're really cool people. Once you get to know them and you talk to them, so they're pretty awesome people. Very inspiring. So now we need to know, okay, what's all this about the sanctuary? What does each part of the sanctuary hold meaning? Well, the sanctuary is the main area of focus for liturgical ceremonies. In this area, you'll find the main altar or Lord's table, which is the focus of the liturgy of the Eucharist. During the Eucharistic prayer, the offerings of bread and wine brought to this altar become divided in one crowd. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't get a whole picture of the sanctuary then. This is what my sanctuary at St. Joseph's looks like. So, not to be fortunate enough to have a Hollywood, at least a famous actress come and visit us. That would be cool. At least we get to see what it's like. So again, this is the altar. And so that's where, like I said, it's said that the Eucharist and the wine is brought. Then, at the altar, the priest reads from the Roman Missal, which is a book something like this. The book of prayers used with knots. Candles adorn the altar to symbolize Christ's presence and life. Often to one side of the altar is the ambo. You'll find the lectionary, the book of Mass readings here. Unfortunately, the sanctuaries that again you can see, it doesn't have that. It's big, yes, but not that big. So it only has what we call the lectern. Non-scriptural reading, that's on reading may occur at a secondary lectern lantern, which is what we have in the sanctuary of St. Joseph's. A cross or crucifix, the cross containing the image of Christ's body, reminds us of his suffering and death. And you'll find one placed either on or near the altar that may be used in procession at the beginning and end of Mass. This is what they call the tabernacle. It is a special receptacle in which the Eucharist bread is reserved for the purpose of bringing communion to the sick and for private devotion. The sanctuary, often red in color, houses a candle that continuously burns near the tabernacle to remind us of Jesus' presence there. The tabernacle may be in the main space of the church, or in a separate room, or space nearby. A lot of people wonder, do Catholics worship the images? Well, the crucifix is a symbol that reminds us of the salvation and life of Christ's death and resurrection. The image of Christ reminds us of St. Paul's mandate to proclaim Christ crucified. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 23. Catholics don't worship the images of Jesus or the saints found in Catholic churches and homes. God alone is worthy of our worship. These images in statues, stained glass windows, paintings, and mosaics are just visible representations of spiritual realities. Through them, we grow in appreciation for and union with what they represent, the living and divine person of Christ and the saints. And I can tell you for myself, personally, I have never been asked, oh, hey, will you pray for this statue of Mary and Jesus, kiss their bare feet? No. When I was a Protestant, I was taught that. Say it again. Until you've actually gone attended a RCIA class, I'll never know. Do they or do they not? It'd be like someone saying that I landed on the moon. Well, I could say it, and are you going to believe what I tell you, or are you going to want proof that I'm on the moon? Do I have a patch from NASA? Did I have any documentation I was on the station? And how can you say I landed on the moon? Same thing with Catholic churches. How can you say they worship statues unless you've got a picture of it and see it for yourself? So again, what people say is one thing, and what the actual truth is another. Most parishes have a narthex or gathering space that divides the main entrance from the nave, the people's worship area. The narthex may feature pamphlets, racks, or bulletin boards, and be used for fellowship before, after Mass. It also functions as a starting place for processions, certain rites, and to transition between the liturgy and everyday life. Some people in Protestant churches, they call it a foyer or the entry. Unlike the Protestant churches, though, you will find something like this. And then when you walk into the church, you'll see a small bowl of water. This is a font containing holy water that has been blessed by a priest to be used as a reminder of baptism. The faithful dip the tips of their fingers into the water and make the sign of the cross as they enter and leave the church. I didn't get an exact baptismal font that I went through. This was about the closest one to what ours looks like. Not as probably extravagant as this one, but it has the same purpose. The baptismal font is a large raised vessel, the basin, in which holy water is contained for baptism. It's found in a prominent place, either near the entrance of the church or in the sanctuary. And churches where baptism by immersion is performed, the font may be a larger pool. placed near the main entrance, a baptismal font may also serve as the holy water. Now, if you notice in this picture, there's like a smaller bowl, and again, this one is a little more extravagant than the one that we have. Ours kind of looks like a waterfall type thing, but there's a smaller like little pool area, and that's for like christening newborn babies and what have you. But obviously, who in their right mind is going to take a newborn baby and dunk it underwater? That's probably not something you would do to your child. So this is where the little bowl comes in. But for people like me, okay, well, obviously I'm too big to be a baby, so they're not going to sprinkle me. I guess to be fully immersed, so that's just how that works. Easter, or Pascal candle, is a large ornamented candle symbolic of the risen Christ, and often positioned near the altar, lectern, or baptismal font. During the Easter season, it burns at every liturgy. It also plays next to the casket during funerals as a sign of our hope in the resurrection and of our faith that Christ will receive the departed into the fullness of his kingdom. I don't have all of them, but this is called the Stations of the Cross, and they're usually on the back wall inside the sanctuary. And there's actually, I think, like 10, maybe 12 of them. I can't remember now, but each one holds a picture of a certain time of his life that certain things were going on. They said there was one that was missing that should be included, but for some reason wasn't, but it is still part of the practice. The Station of the Cross, also Way of the Cross, are a total of 14 crosses or images. Okay, so I was told I said 10 or 12, so that was enough one. Representing, depicting the steps Jesus took to his death. They're usually located along the inside wall of the church. Catholics use them to meditate on Christ's suffering. Now, off to the side of ours, even though ours don't look exactly like this, there's like another type of chapel. That's where the baptismal font's located. And this one here, I'm not sure where this one's at, but this is like a smaller chapel from the larger sanctuary. They call this the Reconciliation Chapel, which is sometimes called the Confessional or Reconciliation Room, and is a private space where a person celebrates the sacramental penance and reconciliation. Most of these provide for confessions to be made anonymously behind a screen or face-to-face with the priest. Now, if you've ever seen this carried at the start and ending of a procession, they call this the sacristy. And the sacristy, that's the cross, and the sacristy. It's the room where the priests and ministers prepare for the liturgical services and put on their religious garments called vestments. The main vestments worn at masses are the alb, a cincture, chasuble, a stole. Because the time may be limited here, I can't really go into full details of that. But they also carry this cross at the start and ending of a service. Also on the parish campus, usually outside of the church, parish activities may be held in a gym, cafeteria, hall, or parish center. However, the rectory is where the priest or priests reside. The rectory next to our church, I guess there's some reason they don't live there, so they have different residences right now. But at one point in time, they used to live in the rectory next to the church. If a religious institute is associated with your parish or nearby, its members may live in a communal home. These homes go by various names, which I'm sure you in England you may have heard called the convent, monastery, cloister, friary, or abbey. Now, the types of churches is called the diocese. Now, I'm in the diocese of Yakima, Washington, and it is a geographical area constituting the pastor care of a bishop, and this is Bishop Tyson. Examples of dioceses in the United States are Albany and Baton Rouge. A large or significant diocese is called an archdiocese, which is led by an archbishop. I'm not sure if this here, which is another church in Yakima, would be considered the bishop or archbishop church, but it is one that has the office where Bishop Tyson can be found. 3 U.S. archdioceses are St. Louis, Chicago, and Los Angeles. A diocese or archdiocese may be subdivided into deaneries, consisting of several parishes, and all are divided into parishes. The archbishop offices and programs are centralized on the chancery, sometimes called the diocese curia or Catholic center. We have in Monsignor, and I guess he would be like the one, and again, you have to forgive me, I'm new at this, okay, so he's like a little bit higher than that of Bishop Tyson. Now, a cathedral is much, much larger. I'm sure these will be found in London and other countries. Well, a cathedral is the archbishop's official parish church. The Latin word cathedral means chair, which is the symbol of the bishop's leadership. The basilica is a church designed as a place of special historical or architectural artistic importance. As the traditional home parish of the Pope, the Lateran Basilica is considered more important than any other church, even St. Peter's in Vatican City. And again, the cathedral is where you'll probably find something like this, which is called the Ambler. I'm sure even the Church of England will have something that is similar to this, and that's because their church is very, very large. The Vatican is the worldwide administrative headquarters of the Catholic Church and the Pope's official residence. So the next question is, well, who shepherds the people of the church? Well, we start from the top usually, in this case then, instead of like we did for the diocese going from bottom to top, now we go from top to bottom. The Pope is, I think it's Pope Francis, and he's in Vatican. So Christ is the head of the church, and all Christians are united in him. Today, the Pope, as Bishop of Rome, is looked upon as Peter's successor, the recognized leader of the Catholic Church on earth. And I'm sure people have heard about the cardinals. But before we get into that, there is another area called, well, they're all part of what's called the bishop. In a larger diocese, an auxiliary bishop may assist with sacramental administrative duties. The Pope designates some members of the clergy as cardinals. They may vote in the election of a new Pope until the age of 80. in a private clerical meeting called a conclave. A papal nuncio is an archbishop who acts as the official Vatican delegate to a country. He holds the diplomatic rank of ambassador in the U.S. and Canada. He also functions as a facilitator between these countries, bishops, and the Vatican offers in Rome. Bishops ordain priests as co-workers in their mission. The diocesan priest is attached to a specific diocese under the authority of the local bishop, and a religious priest is a member of a religious community and may work in various parts of the world. The invitation of the bishops. The pastor is the bishop's direct representative to a parish. Larger parishes may also have an associate pastor or parochial vicar. Monsignor is an honorary title given to a priest in recognition of his contributions to the life of the church. Then we have the deacons, which today is the ministry of a deacon, servant in brief, an ordained member of the clergy. The deacon can be transitioned a step on the path to priesthood or permanent. Sisters and brothers. Now, we had Sister Sylvia visit us on several occasions, but we don't actually have, as we would probably call monks and nuns for her, because again, we're in a very small community. So the more appropriate title is sister. A nun is a sister who belongs to a cloister, secluded, who can contemplate the order and resides in a monastery. A brother is a non-ordained member of the religious order of men. Priests and brothers in monastic orders are referred to as monks. So, in any case, the church as a community. When you think, or when you hear the word church, you might have thought of a building or the Pope, the bishop. Perhaps you thought of your ICIA group or the Mass. The word church has many different meanings. The Catholics, however, church was more than a building or a group of people or individuals. Truth is expressed at the beginning of the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God, and the communion of the Holy Spirit be with you all. The Roman Missal, 3rd edition. Now, when it gets to marriage, and this is usually something that's done by Catholics, I'm not sure the view of the Church of England does anything, because I have never been to a Church of England, and I look forward to that when I get to see what they're like, especially because they have a very large local church. But I also look forward to seeing Catholic things as well. Jesus at the center of the Catholic faith. This lesson is about Mary, his mother, one of the most honored people in the faith. Mary was asked to be the mother of the Son of God. She responded, "May it be done to me according to your word." Luke chapter 1, verse 38. Mary accepted God's will for her life. She became the Christ bearer, the one through whom Jesus, our hope for salvation, entered the world, making our redemption possible. The next lesson, as I continue with my inquiry phase, is called the saints. Now, eventually, I didn't realize this, but I will have to pick a saint for what I'm from. And since I want to move to, or I should say, emigrate to London, England, I thought how appropriate then to pick an English saint. So, to some point, I guess I'm going to honor the people of the UK. The saints. Think of someone you consider to be a faithful Christian. Much like the person who came to your mind, the saints are real people who led holy lives. You might not think of people in your life or yourself as holy. The truth is, we're all called to be holy. are all called saints. And saints are role models for us. They're examples of the poor in spirit, whose confidence is in God, and who recognize their dependence on God. Jesus calls them blessed and promises that their sin, theirs, is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. And there is many saints that are recognized by the Catholic Church. As my first phase called the inquiry started hearing this in, I learned about something called the eschatology. I hope I pronounced that right. The eschatology, which means the last things. Considering our own mortality and what happens after death can be unnerving, scary, and confusing. We only have slivers of understandings about what happens next. But as Christians, we find comfort and hope in our belief that Jesus has conquered death, granted us eternal life, and promised to come again in final fight in the kingdom. Church teaching on these last things is called eschatology. Eschatology deals with what comes at the end of a person's life, at the end of human history and creation, at the end of the second coming of Christ. Well, then we get into what is called discernment. This is a word that you'll also hear a lot in Protestant churches. Do you understand now everything that you have heard? Can you discern if this is for you? I think this proper discernment is where you ask who, when, where, and why. Once I had gotten through that part, the next part was quite an experience. Now, this is not mine, but it's called the rite of acceptance. As I have decided this is something I am committed to, he get called up by the presiding priest, in which case me was one of the and here you have your godmother, sponsor, and if you only have a sponsor, you still have that godmother, so some people have two people. They come up with you, and you go through a certain rite or practice, and they give you this cross, which shows now that you're wanting to go forward. You have gone through the inquiry, and you know the service is what you want. So you are officially then initiated as a catechumen. This is the second phase. Mine doesn't have this type of design, but this is what I picked from research to show an example. When it's all said and done, you turn and face the crowd, and everybody stands or either seated, and it is such a applause, and it's like the most awesome exchange you can ever have. It's also sometimes called the rite of welcome. So, in Christmas Eve or right about Christmas time, I became a catechumen. And I even found online something that was kind of awesome to me. I wanted to share, but I guess didn't really have the time. It's called A Minute with God. If you get a chance, you can put this on pause and try to read it yourself or find it online. It kind of gets you thinking. So at this point then, I hope you have enjoyed this first part of my inquiry phase. And I would tell everyone that if you or someone you know wish to discover more about Jesus and Catholic faith, come to our ongoing RCI inquiry, which usually starts in the end of September and is concluded April and May. So I guess I will see you again next time when we do the part 2 called Catechumen Things. Thank you, and God bless to everyone. God bless Emily Clark and her mom, and everybody out there in London and the Queen of England. Have a great day.